Good morning. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to the Miami Fashion Week Summit. We're very happy for what happened yesterday here, so I hope today's going to have a very good day. Fashion is an industry where sustainable matters has been ignored. So that's why we opened this platform to share and experience knowledge, ideas, and opinions. Today, we're going to start with the founder, chief creator, and research officers of Ananas Anam UK Limited, develop Panya-Tech, the natural leather alternative made from pineapple lead fiber. She is an ethical entrepreneur with a vision for a more sustainable future, connecting people, ecology, and economics. Original from Spain, please welcome Dr. CARMEN HIJOSA.
Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's all yours.
Thank you. You gave away my secret. You gave away my secret.
I would love to know your secret.
Okay.
I'm very impressed about how you can get leather from the pineapple. Okay.
That's my story. You can't say that. Anyway, thank you, everybody. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you, Miami Fashion Week. And thank you, all these amazing people that we heard yesterday. So here we go. I'm going to tell you a story today. And the story is how you go from this waste from agriculture to this nice-looking shoe. And before that, I would like to tell you a little bit how maybe I shouldn't be moving too much. Okay, ready? No. How I went from my personal life to finding these fibers. So I come from Asturias, Spain. I left at 19. I couldn't really stand the place. So I went to Ireland because I thought, okay, I'm going to learn English. I'm going to be a teacher in somehow English and then travel the world. I didn't become a teacher, but I got my English diploma. And 2 years later, I got my first company going. Having 30 pounds in my pocket with my partner, we started up a manufacturing leather company. And 15 years later, we had 30 people. It was kind of a nice little luxury company in Ireland. We were selling to places like Harrods, Liberty, Takashimaya in Japan. So we were kind of little famous, making quite beautiful luxury products. And then as a result of that, I was asked to start to do consultancy work, meaning I would have to go to places that needed help, right? In manufacturing, in design, in quality control, etc. And one of the countries I went was Bolivia, the Altiplano, the Quechua, and the Aymara up there. And they were ceramists, but it's all about design, it's about manufacturing. And for the first time, I realized, working with these people that have so little, I didn't know how to help them, right? We didn't even have a kiln. We just had a hole in the ground. We were cooking, if you like, our pots in there. And I thought, oh, my God. But it really made me understand that a product primarily is about people. And it was so in my face that I thought, oh, my God, it's about people. Everything is about people. After that, another country I went to, amongst other countries, it was the Philippines. And my brief in the Philippines was to upgrade the leather industry for the export market. So there I went. But I already had changed a little bit about this luxury leather. Sustainability wasn't a thing that you could hear about in the 90s. So I wanted to see what was behind the products. So I started to look into the country. I started to look, what was the materials that the country would give me? What access had I got to skills, traditions, craftsmanship? That was one thing, and then I had to still go to my brief, which was, okay, where is this leather coming from? So I went to a tannery. For the first time, I would buy the most beautiful leathers, but I never really went into the depths of a tannery, and it shocked me so much, really. that I said, that's it. I'm not going to work with leather anymore. I didn't have a clue now what I was going to do because like that was my life, right? Anyway, I did it. I went to the Design Center of the Philippines and said to the director, look, Miss Franco, I can't do this anymore. But you've got these natural fibers, you've got these skills, you've got these traditions. Please do something with what you have in your country. And I thought, that's the end of my job, but that's what I need to do. And she said to me, listen, Carmen, go ahead and do something. And I thought, I don't know anything about this. She said, go ahead. And I did a beautiful job, not knowing anything. I really am very proud of this, you know, working with farmers, working with weavers, working with natural dyes. But I still had this little bit in my head of, wow, but you know, I need leather to hang these bags, to do something strong. And then is when I found amongst the other fibers, these fibers, and that was really the next step for me, because my thinking was, what if? Everything starts with what if. What if I make a mesh? In my imagination, I had a mesh already made up, fibers going up and down, a mesh, and then I put a skin on top, and that's like leather. Now, it took about 10 years and more to get to that point, but that's the beginning of my story here, which is the beginning of Piñatex, which is a product made from pineapple leaf fibers, which is the waste of the pineapple harvest. It's unique in the world, I have to say. I've got a patent on it. And it really is, its vision is created through the circular economy. What does that mean? It really means that you think about a product taking into account the full supply chain. And this is really how we need to create today. And it's actually disrupting the fashion, the leather, and the petroleum-based textiles industry. I like that. I can't move too much. Now, why is it disrupting? Look at the leather industry. It's not only the leather industry. Think about 1.5 billion cattle in the world, more than the population of China. How can we have this amount? Think of places like the Amazon basin, where all these huge cattle farming conglomerates, nearly we can say, they are there. 75–80% of deforestation is because of this. Think about land, think about water, think about the food that these cows eat. It's totally unsustainable, right? And then we still have the leather. It's a byproduct. It's okay. It's strong. We've been using it for centuries, millenniums. But it's how we make it today. It's totally unsustainable as well. Those chemicals. I mean, 50, the age of an ordinary worker in Bangladesh, in some of this Ethiopia. I'll be dead by now. Hey, that's not right. Yeah? So that's leather. On the other hand, we've got the textile industry. We heard all about it today. Second most polluting industry in the world, with a huge amount of waste. We need a change. Put it simply, we heard it all yesterday, we really need to think differently. And there comes Piñatex. It sounds like a little miracle, frankly, but it's the reality. Think of a new material that doesn't use any water, any land, any fertilizers to have the fibers that we have there. And think that we needn't plant one single pineapple, because pineapples are the second most popular fruit in the world. I'll tell you later if you want to know. What's the first one? Maybe you know, maybe you don't. And we've got 13 million tons of leaves that people don't know what to do about it. Imagine that. It's beautiful. As far as I'm concerned, it's quite beautiful. So let me tell you the story. So we all know about pineapples. I go to places and they've never seen a pineapple plant. So you probably have seen pineapple plants. They're kind of this high. It's one fruit. It takes about 14 to 16 months to grow. It's a rotating crop. So we've got pineapples all year round. Beautiful. It's not like apples or oranges. So we've got the pineapple. We chop the pineapple. We eat the pineapple. And the plant has about 30 to 40 leaves surrounding the pineapple. And then we have the leaves left to rot in the ground. In places like Costa Rica, the first country in the world that produces pineapples, they've got a really big issue because they're burning them with some nasty chemicals. They're stopping now those chemicals and they don't know what to do. So I'm kind of the salvation of many, some of these places, which is quite good. Now, but these leaves, they've got these very fine but strong and flexible fibers inside. So what if we make something with the fibers, as I told you, and this new material has the same characteristics of the fiber. It's very light. It's actually the quarter of the weight of leather. It's strong but flexible. That's what Piñatex is. And visually, I'm going to show you what happens. So this is Piñatex. I work in the Philippines with farming communities. This is the fibers, pineapple leaf fibers drying in the sun. That's the right color, and it's just the natural color of the fibers. So what happens is that after the harvest, the farmers can go back into those fields. Look there in, let me see, in the right. That's how they left. Look, all that beautiful material that is a waste. So they go in, they pick up the leaves, the mature leaves, then they put them in particular places in the fields. They take this decorticating machine, sounds like a machine gun. It's a flywheel that you put some leaves through it, okay? It takes away, it separates the mass, you can see it there, from the fibers. So that's the first stage, the first revenue stream for these farmers. I think is really so important. After that, these are some of our ladies that they do it. I'll tell you a story about them. But this is how it looks like. It's the chlorophyll, that's all there is in the leaves, in the fibers left. So they wash it in water, they dry it in the sun, and that's my beautiful fibers. This is a new community that we're starting to work with. Usually it's the men that do this job. And these ladies, they are really from the poorest of the poor community. So the local enterprise, the local communities, they're trying to give them some jobs. So they said, we can do the job. I said, yes, you can do the job. So we gave them a decorticating machine. And there they are, these women. They're so wonderful. So they're more than this. But they're starting to do this job. And you should see their beautiful faces. They're so proud. They see the final product. They say, Carmen, do we do this? Yes, this is your work. This is your product. It's beautiful. It's not about the money only. It's about the pride. It's about feeling that they belong to a bigger thing than themselves. And this is what it's really about. As I said, they're washed in the river. There's only chlorophyll, or they've got big vats of water that they can wash it sometimes. And then it's dried in the sun. And the sun is the natural bleach, as we know, so it gets this lovely ivory color. This is another cooperative we work with. I've started this. The company is about 5 years old, so it's about 6 years that we started to build this up because this wasn't done before, so you can imagine. And Labo Cooperative is in the southern part of Luzon, which is the biggest island in the Philippines. They started with us. They made huge effort to do this. The government gave them some of the machines, these decorticating machines, and they started to produce about 20, 30 kilos. What do you do with that? You don't really do too much. Now we're producing about a ton and a half, and I've got 4 cooperatives working with. This took 5 years, so now we have to really increase this speed, to keep moving into upscaling. But once they see the future, they really pull themselves together. So this is Mario, the manager, very proud, showing our fibers. Not only the fibers, this is the beautiful thing. When you think of a product, you have to think, what is there that I can use? What is it that I can reuse all the time, over and over? So imagine taking those fibers and the waste, which is this lovely, fluffy green stuff there, is biomass, and it's about 95, 96% is biomass. What do you do with that? All the nutrients, they are in this biomass because the fibers are nearly 100% cellulose. So what we are doing is organic fertilizer. You mix it with other waste, they put vermicomposting, and in about 3 to 4 weeks you've got a beautiful fertilizer. Now this is the most expensive thing that a farmer has to buy, because a pineapple is a clone of itself. So you cut the top, right, the little leaves, you plant it again, and this is really their plant, which is fantastic. But the fertilizer, so we can have fertilizer out of the waste. So it's double waste and double income stream for the farmers. So from the farming community, Piñatex moves into the manufacturing community. And this is the idea of this mesh that I was telling you about in my head, these fibers going up and down. How do you do that? My background is weaving, as I said to you. But that's not big enough, that's not fast enough. I was thinking of this blending of fibers, and that's a non-woven. Think about felt, okay? So this is a non-woven process. What's the difference? Is that this is a mechanical dry process. It doesn't use any water at all, and it's really fast. My idea is that I want this to be as big as can be, because then more and more people can benefit from this. And this photo, I promise you I was crying. This is the first time that I realized my idea could become a reality in industry. You can make a little meter, you can make 5 meters. I want to make thousands of meters. So we had about 500 kilos of fiber. So we said, okay, let's put it through the machines. I mean, the machines are 20 meters long, 5 meters wide. You've got, you need at least 500 kilos to feed the machine, to try it, to see, is this really feasible? So these 10 meters were the first time that I thought, wow, we can do this. It's possible. We can industrialize this process. Total breakthrough, a beautiful moment in the life of Piñatex, and also in my life. Then from the Philippines, we don't have the facilities to do the finishing, what we call the magic of Piñatex. So it goes to Spain, to Catalonia, outside Barcelona. I'm working with 2 companies, the finishing companies. So one does the resins and the pigments, and the other one here, this lovely Acabados González, they do the tumbling, meaning that we break it a little bit, we give it the softness, we give it the right handling. And this is the best slide. It's the supply chain of Piñatex. And it really is. Think about it. We've got the pineapples, chop, chop, we eat them. We've got the harvest, okay? We've got the farmers going back into the land, picking them up, decorticating one revenue stream. No water, no nothing. We'll wash them with water, but it's no contaminants, it's not toxic, it's nothing like that. It becomes a fiber that goes into a degumming process with enzymes to take the gum out. And then we've got this non-woven mesh that I told you. We put it in rolls and it's shipped to Spain, to the factories. Okay, we do this and then it goes into the products. What are the products? I will show you at the end. You've got, it can be made into bags, it can be made into shoes, it can be made into the seats you're sitting on, it can be made into soft furnishings, train seats, aeroplanes. Really, the sky's the limit. But the lovely thing I want to show you is that in here, this is, in the farming community, this is a closed cycle. This is really how we need to work today, meaning that there is absolutely no waste from a waste, okay? We're using the biomass to do the fertilizer, but when we have volume, it can become biogas, meaning that through an anaerobic converter, this mass can become gas that can be used, instead of using this dirty diesel, to dry the fibers, we can use that. It's just beautiful. It's really purely circular economy. And this is how we need to think about in the future. It's really about this circle. And this, then we have the bigger circle, which is the product, it's made, it's sold, and eventually, not today yet, it will become also biodegradable, compostable when you put it in the ground. Another beautiful cycle. I love it. I really do. So, circular economy. I think most of you probably know about circular economy and know about cradle to cradle, my inspiration in all the work. What does cradle to cradle mean? Means from the source, you bring it back into the source again. It's not the way the textile industry works today, which goes from the beginning, okay? We extract it, we make it, and we put it into the dump or whatever it is. We can't work like that anymore. And another important thing is, which to me is the pillar of my work, is that anything we develop, it has to be based on the 3 pillars of society. And I always put my fingers, there's not one higher than the other, there are the 3 of them there. It's economy, obviously, okay? We need money, not just for the beginning or the end of the supply chain. The whole stakeholders need to really be part of this. Economy, ethics, we need to care for people. And ecology, we need to care for the world. Otherwise, there's no world, there's nothing, right? This is so important. It sounds really simple, but anybody from the college, anybody thinking about design, this is the essence of a good design for the 21st century. So we go back to Piñatex. And Piñatex is a brand. And why is it important? Because this really represents what I'm telling you. It's about values. It's about transparency. It's about really knowing what happens throughout that full supply chain, be totally responsible. And that's what Piñatex represents. Not just fancy advertising campaigns. We don't even do that. It's about the real value within the product. And this is what we really need to think about. It's still a product. It's very versatile. It can be dyed very well. It can be laser cut. It can be printed, embossed, etc. So it's totally versatile. It can be thick. It can be thin. We can apply any coating. So it's quite a beautiful product to work for a designer as well. And now we're starting to do research and development. It's really how you develop a product. A product doesn't come out of a little drawing, a little beautiful sketch. We talked about this yesterday, right? It's not about thinking, oh, it's so fancy. I've got all this flashy stuff. It's so lovely. I mix this, this, and the other. That's not design. That's just fashion, right? So we're in Fashion Week, but we have to think much more ethically, right? Design is really about thinking, whatever I do, it has a responsibility. And this is what it's all about, what I'm talking to you today. And I was going to say something and it got off my head. But anyway, what I'm trying to say here is that it's so wonderfully versatile, and I've got some samples that I will pass by. It can be made very light, so now we can make apparel with it. It can be embossed, as I said. The automotive industry, they're really wanting this stuff. I mean, there's so many companies there, from Volvo to Gini, even listen, I won't say anything because maybe I shouldn't be saying, but it's prototyping this because they really want to have an alternative to leather. And I know what I was going to say, that research is key for developing this. I've spent 10 years and I'll never stop really research. Research is about building this community of collaborators that we need. I work with farmers. They know a lot. With chemists, with biochemists, with scientists, with foresters. I'm going to Costa Rica now. I need to meet somebody that is, minding the forest. And this is what design, again, is about. It's about this collaboration, this bringing together of all this knowledge. It's not about one person doing fancy things and selling it for whatever. That's gone. It's about this union of knowledge that brings us into something new. And this is what design is about. Obviously, the technical stuff is quite important as well. It may look a bit complicated, but it isn't. The tear strength is you pull the stuff. It better be strong. Otherwise, you haven't got a hope in the world that you're going to sell it. Tensile is the same. Seam rupture, you stitch it. It's got to be pulled, 30 kilos. It lasts, good. It passed. These are all ISO. These are the international standard tests for lots of these. I mean, it's gone through about 20 to 30 tests. These are the main ones. Color fastness, you don't want something that goes rubbing off you. Ooh, rubbing off anything. Martindale, when you rub your shoe, you make sure that, nothing comes out. So this is what design is about as well, is the technology behind it. And we are a B2B company. We don't make products yet. We will eventually, maybe in a year's time. So we sell product to companies. And how do we choose these companies? By their values. They have to have something that links with us. So not everybody, it sounds terribly snob, but not everybody can use Piñatex. So, and we've got more demand than supply, but we are upscaling, which we need to make sure that the whole thing makes sense. And these are some of the companies we're working with. These are some of the products. So, apparel, different companies doing stuff, shoes. And I like to say something because a lot of these shoes, if we take these ones, Posu, it's an English company that made in Portugal. But a lot of these are our early adopters, the ones that are really keeping us going. They are vegans, the people that they really have a strong responsibility. They feel responsibility towards all the materials they use. In a shoe, the worst thing is the glue. I mean, it's like dreadful. Stick things together. You can't get them unstuck, obviously, otherwise, you know, your sole goes one side, you go another side. But nevertheless, there are different ways. It's all about design again. So Posu has developed a way that doesn't use any glue. It's done in a way that they put things together inside out without any glue. And this is the type of people we want to work with, and we are very proud that Piñatex is related to this kind of philosophy. And this is a Hugo Boss. I've got a sample there that I'll pass around. You know, you think these big companies don't care. Well, they do start to care. So they did a limited edition. It's only a couple of months. It's selling very well. And they're really trying their very best to do a product that really contains this new way of thinking about a product, sustainability. So the rubber is natural rubber. The sole, the laces are organic cotton, and then you've got Piñatex. And just, I'm going to show you a very, very quick little video that they did. And what it shows is that we need this to sell a product, right? They're actually educating people. Look at that, it doesn't look like leather. People may say, ugh, it's not nice and soft. But it is Piñatex, it's a new product. So we need to educate people how to see a product that is new in the market, and that's not an easy thing to do. They've done quite well about it. This is other products, bags by different people. And I live in the UK, I think I said that. And the UK, with all the problems we have with this Brexit story, big one, but they're very smart, they're very, very good at design, they're very good at innovation, technology, science. So, how do we promote ourselves in the UK about innovation? We are innovators. So what they're doing is to go around the world with all the royals around the place. Oopsie, let's go back. That was in Sweden, Stockholm, in January. So they had this big, great British design. And this is not about the grand design of the 19th, early 20th century. This is about the new future. They're not going to have all these manufacturing power anymore, but this is the way they do it, and they do very well. It's about innovation. Design is about innovation. And we were one of the 4 companies representing the UK. This is a Copenhagen Fashion Summit. Again, they're really looking for the new, the future, the innovators. They have something to give back, and this is what it's about. This is part of my team. I don't know if anybody knows this lovely lady, Livia Firth. Anyway, a little story about this, because she's the eco lady, right? Most people know about Livia Firth. She's from England, and she's really all about sustainability. So she goes to the red carpets, to the Met Ball, and she goes with things that they are sustainable. So she appeared with a Piñatex gown, and we only knew that 2 hours before she went into the Met Ball, and somebody, the designer of this in Italy, they said, let me tell you where your Piñatex is going. It was like, yeah, amazing. We were so proud. Different people doing different things. The whole thing is that some people are taking the risk, right? This is a very established, as we said yesterday, business, and what they're doing is to really trying to break through and taking the risk, like Hugo Boss is doing, to bring new products into the market that have certain amount of value. So this is quite good because, you know, it puts our name out there. It's about educating people again. So what is Piñatex about? It's about a byproduct from agriculture, meaning, as I said, we don't need to extract, we don't need to do anything, it's already there. It's about not having any chemicals that they're damaging to the environment, very important as well. And it's about providing income to people, and that is the figure there. I think they probably get the farmers, I mean, we can buy a pineapple for £1, and the farmers, they probably get 20 cents if they do get that. Hey, you know, where's the money going? Of course, it's the supply chain they have. They're getting £2 per square meter being sold. They're getting more for their waste that they're getting for their main crop. And that's the way it should be as far as I'm concerned. So, what is our vision? To develop a product in which commercial success is integrated with social, ecological, and environmental values. And this is really what is important in Piñatex. So, this is the impact. It's a new sustainable textile. We said that already. But there is economic value to everyone involved and better use of resources. And I thank you all. But before we start, I would like to pass this around so people can see what I'm talking about. Maybe you'd like to pass it around. Thank you.
Well, Carmen, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's unbelievable what you've done. You want to sit here?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. So we share some, I'm sure there's some questions for Carmen. I can't see very well today.
No, it's kind of...
Everyone is hands up at the same time. No, just one at a time. Yeah, please. Yeah, where's our mic? Here, it's coming. This is unbelievable.
Oh, yes, you can pass the fibers as well.
Hi, well, as I promised, I'm going to have a question this morning. Bogdan Enika is my name. The question is, well, when we think about United Kingdom and fashion companies with a view of sustainability, we're thinking about, Stella McCartney or other British companies which are trying to take a step towards using vegetable fibers and to step away from, using cattle and using leather. The question is, you have a patent for your technology. Do you think in licensing the patent or in collaborating with other companies in opening new markets in terms of harvesting the pineapples, like you said, Costa Rica?
Oh, yes. I mean, the patent, why do we have a patent? Because when I start this thing, you never have any money. I mean, that's how it is. But you need to protect what you have, not because of me wanting to protect. I'll tell you everything. I don't care about that. But you need money. You need those backers down there. And those people, they want to be sure that they protect, everything is protected. And also, the second thing about that you know about is that then you've got people, I mean, we've been trying to be copied, already. But if you don't do it, somebody in China, someplace is going to do it. And you know what? They can stop you from doing your own work. Now, that would kill me, because that's not right, right? So you have a patent really to make sure that you control how you expand your knowledge, who to give it to, but also that nobody's going to stop you. So that's the reason for a patent. And you had another question, which I forgot. No, lovely, thank you.
Thank you very much. Here, over here, please.
Carmen,
yes.
Wow. I mean, I can totally feel the work for 10 years and where you've gotten. It's amazing. And the whole cradle to cradle, it's spectacular. One of the things that I want to ask you, very linked to what he said, and knowing, having been in your space, I see the shoe and it says Uber Boss and it doesn't say Piñatex. And that's something I fight for on a daily basis. You are the intel inside.
Yeah.
You are, we've got to lobby for big brands who are using our work, and I'm happy that they do it in your work, but that they acknowledge the hard work, the sweat, and all that it took for you to get there. And the number of times that I see big brands take on a brilliant idea, take it to themselves and not acknowledge the small brand, which is very well done in the tech industry, but in our industry, it's not. It's appropriated, is one of my greatest frustrations, and I'm wondering how you feel about it.
Yeah, I totally agree, but let me tell you something. This was a capsule collection, and you go to the shops, and you've got a leaflet saying Piñatex. You've got a video saying where it's coming from, and we actually have our branding guidelines that we give to all these guys, so they have to sign it, and they say, it's Piñatex, it's not in the shoe. Believe me, it's going to be in the next one. I can guarantee you that, definitely. But they cannot put it in the shop without Piñatex. But thank you, that's really a problem. But I totally insist. Somebody wants it, somebody's going to have the name there. Thank you, definitely. Definitely. It's true though. Come on.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Kind of.
Yeah, but it's not working.
Thank you. Now? Yes. My name is Valeria, Valeria Hinojosa, almost similar to your last name.
Hey.
I've been writing about sustainable fashion and a conscious lifestyle for the past 4 years, and I've been working with a lot of brands that are using Piñatex too, which I love. But the question that I have, which is something that a lot of designers, upcoming designers have mentioned, is how expensive it is to get sustainable fibers if you are a small designer. And I know that you're working with big brands, so maybe this will make it easier and more affordable for Piñatex and sustainable fabrics to lower their costs when it comes to selling textiles. What are your thoughts on that?
No, listen, the price is the price. We said it yesterday. I don't know if you were here yesterday.
No. Sorry, I couldn't make it yesterday.
So the price is the price. Piñatex price goes from, I think it's 48, and excuse me, I don't do the sales anymore. But it's about 48 to 52 euro per linear meter. A linear meter is a meter 60 by a meter, right? Expensive? No, it's not expensive. Why? As I said to you, these fibers that are going around there, they're the most expensive fibers. I mean, we are paying about £8 per kilo. Now that's, I mean, okay, there are probably experts in here. It's like gold. And we need to pay that price. Why? Because the people need to get paid. People think that because it's a waste, and again we spoke about that yesterday, it's a waste. Hey, it's only a waste. No, it's a waste from something that has to be used, transformed, and pay the people to transform it for something else. So the price for a big brand is the same price for a small brand. And the price that I'm telling you is the price, and we wouldn't budge on the price. If they cannot have it, you wait until you have it. And that means that either you do your price is wrong, you're in the wrong market, but price is price.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I know, it sounds terribly blunt, but that's what it is, right? Come on.
And actually, one last question, so sorry. Can I? Okay.
Carmen, thank you for that, and I really appreciate you talking about the price. It's the price, as you know, we talked about this yesterday on the stage, and we really have to stop devaluing the cost of producing ethically. We are all paying the price for the cheapest materials. It's the people in the supply chain that are paying the price, and it's the environment that's paying the price.
Absolutely.
That doesn't mean it's not there.
Absolutely.
And so we cannot and we must not compromise on the reality of the sustainability of those in the supply chain. So I congratulate you on that.
Thank you. Absolutely agree. Thank you. Definitely.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Gabriela, and I have a nonprofit organization working with the environment and sustainability and education, which is what I really truly love about what you're doing, is that the social part of your project is that it's helping so many people have dreams and fulfill their passion in the Philippines, you're saying. So I congratulate you, and that's amazing. And so how would you try to expand your project in other places around the world that have pineapples and can do the same thing, because this should be spread around the world, I think.
Totally agree.
Thank you.
Totally. So, the Philippines happened to be the first country that I was sent to, and then I realized this wealth of fibers, right? It's the second or the third country in the world. So I landed in the right place. That was kind of nice. But what we're doing at the moment is upscaling. Now, going back to these funny decorticating machines that I was talking about, what we had to do, because the yield is really low, is hard work for the farmers. So it's not all rosy, by the way. It's bloody tough, right? And it's hard to bring everything up there where it should be. So we developed with a factory in China, the only place where you can develop a good machine, an automated decorticating machine. Nobody believed in this. I mean, really, particularly in the Philippines. Even the government was saying, ugh. I said, you wait and see. So we've got the machine in the Philippines. It's moving now into our partner place. It's got an integrated textile mill. It should be working within the next few weeks, so we can start upscaling. So we're developing the first fiber plant, right? I'm not thinking it's a plant, in the Philippines, and then this can be transferred to any part of the world that they have pineapples. And I mean from Africa to India to China to South America, any place. So that's the plan, definitely.
Great. Do we have any questions?
Oh,
we're okay with time.
Hi, Michaela from Italy, Milano. Considering that what I heard yesterday and today, one of the major problems is related to the perception of this kind of products. So that people think that coming from the waste, it has to be cheap or it's not valuable. And the prices are not the luxury prices, but quite high. People got used to Zara and all this kind of fast fashion, and they demand lower prices, most of all considering that it's coming from the waste. So how do you think you can, I don't know, communicate to the people, to the final clientele, but also to the buyers, press, whoever, maybe putting yourself together, creating a kind of stronger communication and message to the media or through the socials in order to raise up the idea of what working on waste is?
You know, as I said before, we don't really spend any money on publicity, but we've got loads of it. I mean, I can't tell you the figures, but we probably have 80-something followers in something like Facebook and 20-something in Instagram. I think social media is very powerful. I think we were talking about that. You know, you like it, you like it, you like it, you like it. We did a little video, somebody did a little video of Piñatex about a year ago. And you know, after about 3 weeks, 20 million people and 30 million people have seen this video. And I was thinking, I was going to work every day and they were saying, Carmen, you know what? Another 500,000 people have seen the video and said, what the hell? We don't need anything else. I think it's already there. 30 million people is a heck of a lot of people that they know about Piñatex. We didn't lift a finger. We basically did a little video. Somebody did a little video because they wanted to do a little video. It's out there, 1 minute, probably 3 seconds, and 30 million. So I don't see any problem with that. Yes?
Everyone here has to be your PR.
Oh.
It's our job.
Exactly.
Wow.
You're doing your job to make the product. It's our job as people who listen to you or your audience get it out. I think the time has come that all of us as consumers have to take on this responsibility.
And not wait for small brands who have no budgets to go and spend time on social media. Let's do that work for them.
Yeah. I love it.
Brava Carita. Yeah, well, yesterday we talked about that. It's our, I mean, we all have to, get compromise, you know? It's not just waiting and waiting to someone else do the things that we have to compromise and search and look, and that's why you are here today. That's why we're all here today, and, you know, this is a voice by voice. Bueno, Carmen, thank you very, very much. It was a real pleasure to hear you. A beautiful story.
Thank you. Thank you to all.